Hi friends! Before we start the episode, I have a little warning for you. In this episode, we're going to be talking about tattoos and needles and injections and taking of blood. So if those topics scare you or trigger a reaction, feel free to skip this episode. Hi friends! I'm Sasha.
I'm Mia.
I'm Ahma. And this is the Drawing Club Podcast. Welcome back to the podcast.
Yes.
And today we have our very first guest.
Oh, yay! It's so exciting.
I'm so excited.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Do you want to tell shortly who you are?
Yeah, sure. I'm Ahma, and I'm a illustrator as well. Also a tattoo artist and a comics artist.
Yeah.
Yes.
So cool. Thank you so much for coming to our podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
This is my first podcast ever, and I'm super nervous. And as you can see, I'm talking with my hands like a lot.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yeah, for those of you who can see, because we are both a video podcast as well as an audio one. So if you're watching us on YouTube, hi. If not, we might refer to some things that you can see if you're watching, but you can totally just listen to us too.
Yes. And we are also a drawing podcast, so
Yes.
we are drawing here, and you're welcome to join us and draw with us. And if you do, please share your art on social media and tag us so we can see.
Yes.
Yes. Hashtag what?
Drawing Club Podcast? Yes.
I just wanted to make the hashtag with my hands. So yeah.
So cool. Yeah.
So should we start with what we are drawing today? Sasha,
Yes.
do you want to start?
Yes, I can start. So, because, I was inspired by Mia making topic-related art last week's. So, because we have a tattoo artist with us, I wanted to draw a person with tattoos. So yesterday I started sketching this person, and I was just like, she's just gonna sit on the floor and she's just gonna have tattoos. There's like not gonna be anything special. But then I was kind of experimenting with her pose, and somehow it became a person stretching on the floor. Like I was just kind of like, I put her leg here and I put her arm here, and then it's like, this is like some kind of a yoga pose or something. So now there's this person stretching, and they don't have tattoos yet, but I think once I color in, then I'm gonna draw tattoos.
And what are you gonna use to?
And I use
color?
gouache today.
Nice.
And maybe ink for the tattoos.
Ooh.
And what are you drawing, Ahma?
Well, I sketched this this morning in a bus quite quickly, but I'm gonna draw like an old TV with some kind of game console and plants and a cat. So my favorite things.
Yeah.
That's nice.
And I love your sketchbook thing. Is it washi tape?
Yeah, it's washi tape. This is actually like an aquarelle paper, but since I'm like quite a messy drawer, I figured that maybe I want to like line it a bit, so there's gonna be like a white outline.
Oh, okay. Because I was first like, is this your sketchbook thing that it has this frame?
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah, for those of you listening, there's like Ahma's page has this frame with this cute green pattern on the sides, but it's the washi tape frame around it.
Still very cute.
Yes,
Yeah, it's very cute.
yes, and I'm gonna. Well, I was thinking about using watercolors, but since I couldn't find them because my home is a mess, yes, I'm using the cheapest stuff that I found. I have some Ikea markers. I think the pencils, they may be from Prisma or some kind of a supermarket, and the other stuff are from Lidl.
Nice.
Oh,
Yes.
Very like affordable and approachable
Yes.
stuff.
nice.
And I'm drawing probably like once again this girl with a plant. But I also have my watercolor set today with me, so And I actually switched out some of my watercolors for like new colors, so I'm excited to maybe try out a bit of a new color palette.
Oh,
Nice.
That's what's happening today.
Yeah. So I guess our topic today, since we have Ahma here, we're gonna talk about tattoos and comics and ask you about your art practice and stuff, and then let's see where it goes. Yes. And if you heard this noise, we are again at my place. Oh yeah, the setting is actually a bit different from our previous podcast, but we are like trying arranging our setup differently to see how like the light works and how we fit. But we're still in my home, and I have 2 cats, and while we are setting up for the recording, they get super excited because it's like, you know, things are moving, like something, new people are here, everybody's talking, so now they're still running around and ruining stuff.
But they're super cute though.
Yeah, I think they will calm down after a while, but if you hear noises, I apologize, and it's my cats.
It's just cats.
Yes.
So, Ahma, maybe we can start with like what. So you told us you're an illustrator, a comic artist, and a tattoo artist. Can you maybe talk about, like, what is it?
What I do? Yes. Yeah. Well, I have a tattoo studio here in Helsinki that I just opened about 6 months ago.
Yes.
And yeah, that's my kind of main thing right now. But I'm also doing some like self-published comics and taking parts of different kind of anthologies at times, but mainly working with my partner under the name Hexwheeler.
Oh, nice. So you collaborate on the comics?
Yes, he's doing the writing stuff, and I'm doing the drawing side of the comics.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, we've been working together for I think since 2017 now, so 3 years about. And and then I just occasionally do some illustration because it is fun.
Yes. I agree.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, when did you start to draw or like do art or be creative?
Well, I think I started when I was quite little. I've been always like super into drawing, which is kind of a boring answer, I think. But like I used to have a comic blog when I was in high school.
Oh, so what can you tell for those of us who might not know what that means? What is a comic blog?
So a comic blog is like an online comic that you published, and it's like it has this like a form of a blog there. Like you kind of tell about your days or whatever is the topic of your blog, and then all the entries are in a comic form.
Nice. So was yours like about your own life at the time?
Yes, it was like very, very teenagey, very angsty stuff.
I love that.
So yeah, I think that was my first bigger comic project that I've ever had. And then I actually went to University of Applied Sciences to study some culture production, and I was thinking that I should have like this a proper job, like everyone was telling me that I shouldn't be an artist, I should get a proper job.
Yeah. I've had that.
Yes, I think many people can relate, many artists can relate.
Yeah.
And so I want to study that, and when it was time for my internship, I realized that I'm not really into any kind of like music production or anything, even though I'm a huge music geek as well. But I went to have my internship at Finnish Comic Society and Helsinki Comic Center, and I think that was the final push for me. Like then I just kind of didn't have a way out anymore.
You were stuck.
Yeah, I was stuck. Yes.
Wow.
So yeah, and after that I've been studying some game art, and of course I trained to be a tattoo artist. And
how did you get into tattoos then?
Well, I've always thought that tattoos are quite cool, and I actually just approached an artist I knew from social media, and I sent her email that, hey, I would like to learn to tattoo, and could we maybe arrange something, like I can help you with some, I don't know, producing or anything, like if I can scratch your back, you can scratch mine a bit. And but she was super nice, and that's when I started my tattoo internship. That was in 2017, I think.
So you kind of had a mentor?
Yes, I had a mentor. I went to the studio quite frequently, semi-frequently. I was studying at that time, so it wasn't like from 8 to 9. Or from like 8 to 9 would be quite a short day, but from 8 to 5 kind of job. I wish I could just work from 8 to 9.
Yeah.
But yeah, then I went there and started to do tattoos.
Wow. And
slowly.
You have quite a few tattoos, I can see. And the
yes, I do.
people who are watching can also see. And I guess, like you've done some of the tattoos?
I've done some of my own. I think I can show this other camera. There's like, I've done this, like a twig of a blueberry, and then I have this letter thing, and Vivi is the name of my dog. So,
and you also made my tattoo, which is like my first tattoo. I think I can also show it here.
Yes, and I have 3 tattoos from Ahma. I have this tiny one and this big one, and then there's one on the back of my neck. I don't think it's a bit hard to show it, but it's like a tiny one there.
I feel like I have to catch up.
Yes, you should totally.
Yeah. I've been a super fan.
Thank you for supporting me.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. But it's been super fun to do tattoos. I really love it. I kind of feel that it's a good way for me to express myself, and it's also like nice to meet people while working, because sometimes like illustrating or making comics can be a bit maybe lonely.
Yeah, I actually like wanted to ask, like, well, you partly answered the question already, but like, I think a lot of people who draw, like the first thing you think to do is like kind of like either make some kind of pictures that you like print or somebody else prints, or then you just draw and like sell that. So it's like a very nice, like different way to use like art and drawing is to put it like on people's bodies. But I was wondering like what are like, because you also do the other type of art on paper. On paper. So how does it feel like different? Like, I mean, you get to like meet people face to face, but like are there any other perks of like, or also like negative sides of doing that, or like applying illustration to that?
Yeah, of course, they're like totally different formats, I think. And what's interesting in tattoos is that like your canvas is a living being, and like after you finish your tattoo, it kind of still continues to live and to change, because skin ages, and you have to take that into account when you're making tattoo, when you're designing the tattoo, and and also like well, it's kind of like if you just make an original and then you sell it immediately, you just get a like quick look at it, and then it's kind of gone. Someone else has it, and you can't go back and do like little tweaking or be like, oh well, next time I'm gonna print this, I'm gonna like add some more contrast in it or something. It's not gonna happen with tattoo.
It's just out there in the world.
Yeah.
Is that like difficult for you though?
It's very difficult for me. It's like
it sounds like it would be for me.
Yes. It's super hard to put stuff on social media, for example, like because when you're posting something on Instagram and then you notice that there's something tiny that you would want to maybe tweak just a little bit, and then you can't anymore. And of course, often there are things that like the people who get the tattoo won't even notice, probably. But since I made it, I'm always like super, super critical of my own work. Yeah. So and that's something I've been struggling with, and that's something I definitely have to continue learning. Like.
Yeah, I'm also interested because like also making the tattoos like when you do it on skin, it's like it's a different canvas, but also like it involves pain. Like how does it feel to like work like on someone while like they're actually in pain from what you're doing, even though it's like this beautiful and lovely thing, but at the same time I guess like because for many people pain is like a negative thing, so there's like I guess like does it feel like there's this negative feeling that you also kind of I don't know
are hurting them? Well, in a way yes, but in a way also like they're asking for it. But like well, I have quite many tattoos myself, so I think I can relate on the pain aspect quite well most of the time. But also like I want to do my tattoos in a way that they're like quite customer friendly, or like they're if someone is really in pain, then we can always have a break. We don't have to, or we can just like stop for that day and then continue later. Of course, like when you're getting a tattoo, you kind of have to acknowledge that you're gonna be like it's not gonna be maybe the most comfortable thing you ever like felt in your life, and you have to be okay with that. But like I don't want to cause any like unnecessary pain to anyone, and I'm also like checking quite often, like almost all the time, like are you okay, is this feeling okay, like can I do you want to adjust your pose, or do you want to have a small break, or do you need anything, can I help you with anything? And also I'm quite shy person, but I really try to talk with my customers quite a lot, because like I feel like talking eases the pain, or you're not so concentrated on
like it's
pain.
a distraction from it. That's
so
nice.
I'm always talking about something super silly. Usually about my dog.
Your dog is adorable.
Yeah, but also super silly.
I mean that it goes with it.
So but I'm just and just kind of like try to be there and like make sure they feel like they're being heard.
I feel like with like tattooing in general and tattoo artists, there's been this like I think maybe with Instagram, the same as with like illustrators, it seems to me like it's maybe changed somewhat, like the culture of it, or just the, or at least it's brought it to my attention, because I didn't have any tattoos before I met you, and I also like, so I don't have any knowledge of it, but I'm just wondering, like, there seems to, or I seem to at least be exposed to more like varied kind of voices and like different kinds of people making tattoos, and also just like different visual styles. And like maybe different practices also. I wonder like how do you like maybe place yourself in that, I don't know, in the tattoo scene, or like like how are you, like what is your thing maybe, or I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of
that's a tricky question, I think.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's a bit all over the place.
Well, that's fine. I'm definitely not an old school tattooer, even though I do like old school aesthetics quite a lot. I'm not like photorealistic tattooer at like any means. And also I think like especially in Finland there's been a since the industry is not that old. Like I think the first official tattoo shop was opened in 80s probably. Of course there's been a lot of tattooing going on before that, but that was the first official one, and it's been like quite closely associated with like criminal activities, or like quite like toxically masculine stuff as well. And I'm a queer non-binary person, so being a tattoo artist in that kind of an environment wouldn't maybe be super nice to me. So I think I'm quite of this like new new generation. I was about to say new age, and I was thinking that's not maybe the word I'm looking for. New age tattooer. But yeah, I'm kind of this new generation. I'm making quite a cutesy tattoos. And I'm also not using a machine, which is quite different from many traditional tattooers in Finland, I think.
So how do you make your tattoos?
So I'm making this, they're called hand poke tattoos. I'm using the same basic equipment than the machine tattoos use. But I'm not using the machine, so I'm poking.
Your hand is your machine.
Yeah, my hand is my machine. Yes, my body is a machine.
Yeah. So how is hand poke tattoos, like how do the process, how does it feel different for you and for the client?
For the client it might be a bit less painful actually, because there's not that much friction on the skin, because the tattoo needle actually goes quite fast when it's in the machine, but when you're hand poking you're just doing one dot at a time, so that's a bit more slow process. But other than that it doesn't differ that much. Of course, you don't hear the noise of the tattoo gun. You just hear my lovely dabbling, which might be a pro or a con, depending on the person. Wow.
Yeah. I've been actually like. We actually already talked a little bit in like a previous episode that we both took a little workshop from you. And then we both tried hand poking some oranges.
It was so much fun. Oh my god.
Yes.
But also really scary to me. I don't know. I'm a bit terrified of the responsibility that comes with it.
Yes.
But yes.
With a great power.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. And I've been practicing a little at home also with fruit. And I actually like really wanna like learn to tattoo on skin and maybe tattoo some people and maybe like I don't know
Become a real tattoo artist.
or at least try it out if that's like a thing I might want to do. So I've been like really fascinated with what you've been doing, and also like really happy that I met you because I didn't know anyone like well enough to actually like teach me.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was friends with Ahma before.
Yes. I met Ahma through Mia.
Yes. So. Like a year ago or something, or I mean, I think remember. Yeah, maybe. But we've been like, all three of us have been good friends.
Yeah.
It's really nice. Yeah. It's the best feeling when like your friends meet and they also become really good friends.
Yeah. But I was like, I already thought about like that I wanted to learn to tattoo for a while, for over a year now. But I always thought, because I have this fear of like needles and like not like needles by themselves, but like poking of the skin. Yeah, like I can't watch when like my blood gets drawn or when I get
me neither actually.
It's like, yeah, and I even fainted during like a blood test. Yeah. So I was thinking like, first of all, I was like really scared to even try. I was like, can I even do it with this like fear I have? But then I also always thought like I need to do the machine thing, because then it's at least like the machine does the poking, and I can't do the actual poking myself. But then when I was like getting machine tattoos myself, I couldn't even watch it. I was like so stressed about it, and kind of like would feel a bit like sick and stuff. But then when I got like tattoos from Ahma, I was the first one I got I wasn't watching, but then when Mia was getting hers, I was watching that, and I was like,
I was like, please get it back.
And I was like, this is actually not that scary. And then like the next ones you've been like, I mean, I couldn't watch my back of my neck,
but
like obvious reasons. But this one, and it's like, I've been feeling like I can actually do this, and I don't even like get dizzy anymore from it. And I don't know if it's like the hand poke thing, or if it's just like the that I'm getting used to it, or maybe also you're such a nice tattooer that I feel so safe. But I've been like overcoming that fear.
And I think that's actually quite common thing with tattooed persons, but like to think about that they're not at all scared of blood or needles or anything. Well, I have tattoos, I have piercings, I'm a tattoo artist, and I can't watch when someone's taking a blood sample from me. I feel super dizzy, but it's a different thing because my needle doesn't go that deep.
True.
So
but that's strange, you wouldn't think that.
But I'm actually a huge sissy.
Scaredy cat.
I am.
So you can be like a super cool tattoo artist and a scaredy cat at the same time. Yes, it's possible. But that has been like really refreshing too. Maybe also because like you told me about like that you feel the same way. Maybe that also made me feel more like okay. So actually like they are different things, and maybe like if Ahma can do it, I can do it. But now I've been like,
look at that person. If they can do it, then I can do
it. Okay, should we also talk about comics?
Yes,
because you're also doing that.
Maybe.
Are you not sure? No, I think I would love to hear about that, because it's something I just recently have done for the first time, kind of, or like I've dabbled in it very like little bit. I made this tiny comic zine before, and quite recently I made this mental health self-care zine that is like, I consider it a comic as well.
I haven't seen it yet.
Well, it's coming out. I just sent it to I mean, maybe by the time this comes out, that will be out already. But at the time of recording, it's being printed as we speak. I hope. But yeah, so
cool.
How did you? So you said that you did an internship at a comics.
Yeah, Helsinki Comics
Center?
Society
Yeah.
and Helsinki Comics Center. And yeah, I did it at the time when I was still studying culture production, so it was more like I was helping with producing Helsinki Comics Festival. But I think the environment kind of like inspired me quite a lot with trying to like do my own comics and own comics testing, and I did draw something little just for myself. I didn't show it to anyone really. Yeah. I was super shy with my art back then, and I haven't like during when I was actually studying culture production, I didn't really draw that much. I had like a 3-year break in between. And then I started again at the time when I was doing my internship. Mm-hmm. And it felt so good to draw again. It was so nice. So yeah, and since then I've been doing more and more comics all the time.
You've done like many of them.
Yeah, I think we've published with my partner under the name Hexwheeler 4 comics now. And I also have 2 of my own zines that are a bit more like experimental comics. So yeah.
Can you tell us like what kind of comics they are? Like what is the...
Are there some themes you like to explore? Or
yes.
Or like is there a genre or...
Yeah, well they are actually genre comics, most of them. We do quite a lot of horror stuff. Actually, I think almost all the zines that we publish together could be considered horror.
Oh,
so
spooky!
Spooky. That's my thing, and the ones that I did just by myself are not so spooky. Well, the other one is not. Other one is. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So quite spooky stuff. I think that's my thing.
That's cute.
And I really like to do that. I think a comic is a good way to express even quite horrible things with a. Well, I would love to say a nice way, but I don't know if those horror comics are that nice per se. But yeah, in a way that's a bit more approachable, maybe.
Yeah, it's somewhat like more comfortable and like easier to do at your own pace than a movie, for example.
Yeah, that's true. But also, like, I feel like comics. I kind of think of them as almost like a mini movies in a way, like because like making a layout sketches for the comics is quite similar to making like layout pages for a movie, I think.
Yeah.
Or at least they have some similarities.
Yeah, like storyboards.
Like storyboards. That was the word I was trying to find. Yeah.
But I'm actually interested in like your process because you do it together. So like, can you tell us about like how you do it from start to finish? Like what you do together and what you do separately, and like.
Yeah, sure. Well, Onni is my partner. Onni is the one who's making the scripts for the comics, and sometimes he has the idea what he wants to write, but sometimes it's just like I maybe suggest something or we talk about something and decide that okay, this could be the next project and we need a script for that, and then Onni is making the script, and after that we're starting to think about the layout together, and we're actually making the layout / storyboard together, so that because like I think the way that Onni writes actually like tells quite a bit about what's happening in different like pictures. So it's easier to make that face together. And also like at that point we plan like the how do the characters look and like all that kind of stuff.
So it sounds like it's very collaborative and not just like you turning his text into...
No, totally not.
Yeah.
And and then like after that, then it's mainly me doing the drawing part. But also I'm always showing my drawings to Onni quite a lot and like kind of getting an approval. Like if what I've been thinking is okay, usually it is. Sometimes Onni is a pain in the butt and like wants something to be changed, and then we argue like if it's necessary or not, because I'm super lazy to draw stuff again. So yeah, but you also, that's very fun to like do comics together, because then you have to kind of like explain your view to another person. And I think that's what makes our comics better all the time, because we have to discuss about them so much. It's not just something you have in your head and you're thinking that it works and then it might not work. But now we have like two people like giving the opinions about everything.
Yeah, like each decision like comes only through like working through it, kind of, and not just well, some decisions I just like hammer there, like we're making it, then on this like okay, I guess. But yeah, I'm not too into a dictatorship. Yeah.
Well, like anyway.
In
just making sure. Yeah. So yeah, that's why.
And if you don't mind sharing, like, what is Onni's background?
Onni is well, he's been studying literature in university, and he's also a culture journalist and really into horror stuff. Ooh, surprise.
Wow, didn't see that coming.
Yeah. So yeah, that kind of things. Writes quite a lot, and actually writes to Sarja Info magazine. We met through comics.
Oh,
so yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's so nice that you like get to put these two different things that you do together.
Yes.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's like it's a hobby that we have, but like hobby / work that we have. But it also like it makes my working quite a lot of easier, because like there's someone kicking me in the butt like when I'm not working, which is quite often.
It's a really good side to like collaborative projects.
Yes. Yeah. Because otherwise I don't think I would meet any deadlines.
Yeah, it's really nice to have like some kind of accountability to another person.
Yeah,
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed it with this podcast.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for me it doesn't always work with my partner, because then we sometimes get lazy together. We collaborate on procrastinating and getting lazy and slow also. So like we've had a bunch of like music projects that are like hour together, but then we would just both sometimes take things very slow and not meet deadlines, and like, I don't know, decide to like rehearse, and then on the day like, no, let's do it tomorrow.
No.
Yeah.
Well, that happens.
Yeah.
But what about you? Do you read comics a lot, or what's your relationship with comics?
I feel like I've discovered comics quite recently. I mean, as a child, I read like some comics like Donald Duck, which everyone pretty much reads here. Yeah. But I think only like in my mid-20s is when I kind of discovered these like indie comics and like But I'm not an avid reader. It's kind of more sporadic, but whenever I table at the Helsinki Comics Festival, I always buy a bunch of like comics from some independent comic artists, and I really enjoy those.
Yeah.
But I don't have like a habit of reading comics.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I have a habit either, but yeah, I feel like comics was one of my favorite ways to like read, because I don't really like, I don't like to admit it, but I don't really read a lot because I have some attention issues and like reading is like quite difficult for me. Like I can't really concentrate on like a whole book. But comics in that way like work so much better for me because it's like a combination of text and like visuals. So like, well, they are much faster to read. It's like much easier to get through a comic than like book that is only text. And and also like I guess there are like different parts of your brain involved when it's like both image and text. So I really actually like to, like, if I read a book, I would actually prefer it to come in a comic form. Like for my brain it works so much better. And of course like I really appreciate like a lot of the artists. It's like I'm really fascinated by this medium. Yeah, and I love how like it comes in like they come in so many different like styles and like even like ways how people tell a story. Like some of them are more like traditional and like and sometimes they would be more kind of, I don't know, like a lot of people have all these different ways how they would lay them out and how they would use text or like no text, and it's really cool. I'm like really fascinated by this medium.
It's like very creative to me. Creative storytelling.
And also I kind of really wanna try to do my own comics also, and I mean I have done like one tiny zine which like had one spread that is like kind of like comic. But I'm like really scared of it. I feel like it's like the people who do it are so cool, and I don't know if I'm cool enough to be a comic artist.
Oh my god, you are so cool.
But I hope one day I'm gonna.
You should
be brave enough to attempt.
Well, I'm very excited to see when you do make a comic.
But we've been actually also talking with my partner about like collaborating the same way, because he hasn't written much lately, but he used to write more in the past. So I was even thinking of like finding some of his older stories that he's written and turning those into comics.
Nice.
And then maybe that would inspire him to write more. Yeah. But should we go to the question of the week?
Ooh. Sure. Which one of us has it?
You have it.
My phone is not.
Okay, I can find it for you.
Yes. While you're looking for it, I wanna tell a small anecdote that I mentioned before. But my first time actually selling at a market was with you, Ahma.
True.
And it was also your first.
That was my first time as well.
Yeah, we were at the Helsinki Comics Festival in 2017. I think so, because
I think it was 2017.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we were both like baby illustrators at the time.
Yeah.
And it's so cool that we like shared this together.
And it went so well, I think.
Yeah, it was so much
nice.
fun. Oh, perfect. Yes. What? Which one?
Isn't the last one?
No, that's
it's not
for the
one.
next one.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
It's in the highlights.
Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, then maybe I can read it.
Trouble navigating the question of the week, but we're
now I know the next question of the week.
Oh my god, scandal! We're gonna have to erase your memory.
I'm gonna leak it. I'm gonna leak it online.
Do you want to read it or?
Yeah, I can read it.
You can read it. Okay.
Okay. So Anne EA has sent us a question. were you scared of starting freelancing with your illustrations? And if so, how did you overcome it? Thank you. This is a great question. Ahma, would you like to share your experience? You're the newest freelance of us.
I'm the newest freelancer. Firstly, yes, I was super scared. Like 100% pure scaredness. That was me for many months. But also because I knew you lovely people who have succeeded in this, so then I wasn't maybe that scared at the same time. But also, yes, super scared.
Yeah.
How did I overcome it? I did not. I'm still super scared of everything. But then I kind of just... I bit the bullet, I think. I just went there. Like, I think I had really supportive people around me. And I think I was also in a like a... My life situation was in a way very good for starting to freelancing. Like I didn't have a day job or anything like a super steady. I did have a day job, but it was not like super frequent or anything. So it was a good time for me, and I just went there. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
I was just gonna do it.
Yeah, I feel very similar. Like, it was really scary, and just over time it gets a little bit less scary as time goes by, but it still kind of continues.
Or maybe you just get used to it being scary and kind of
but it's still scary.
Yes,
because you never know about anything. Everything is very uncertain, and I think that's just something you maybe have to accept and try regardless.
Yeah.
But also, to me, I felt like I had people who were very encouraging, and I looked up to Sasha, who was already doing it before me. So I was like, I want to try it too. Yeah. What's the worst that could happen? And also, I have to note that we live in Finland, and there is this amazing thing called like a startup grant, which we have all been like lucky enough to get. So that actually supported us for the first year.
Yeah.
So
I'm still getting that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So that is a big reason why I was like, I had the courage to make that jump, because I knew I was going to be fine at least for a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I can like totally relate to everything you have said. And also how like, yeah, I remember like when I was just starting out, like when I was just like registering my business and stuff, I was like, okay, so I don't really know anything about this, but I'm gonna just do this, and I'm gonna learn by doing, and I'm gonna like read a lot and watch all these videos and listen to all these podcasts or whatever, and I'm gonna learn a lot, and I'm just gonna get better and better at it, and eventually I'm gonna feel very like much more like secure about what I'm doing. And that was like a big mistake I made, because I realized you never get, like with this kind of work, you're never secure and you never know what you're doing. And like you never really get like, okay, now I know how to write to run a small business, and like now I know how to do freelance. And I feel like, I don't know, maybe some people like have that, but I feel that it's just like, yeah, you actually never know if like what is the right decision every time, and what is the right time to do this or that, or I don't know, like even when you already started the business, or like started freelancing, or like started working on your own project or something, like there is always going to be some kind of decisions that you will feel also like scared and like,
yeah, and you just have to do it at some point.
Yeah, and sometimes you just do it, and sometimes some of them you will miss because you're too scared, and like yeah, I don't know, it's just, I guess you just kind of learn to live with this fear, and like that is just part of it, and it's okay. And it's okay to be scared, because it's like, of course it's this big thing, of course you're scared, and like everyone else is also scared, but then somehow they survived. So
Yeah.
Maybe you will too.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You never know if you're not gonna try at
Yeah.
least.
Yeah.
And also, I think things like at least in the beginning, I feel like things change quite rapidly.
Yeah.
Like 1 minute you can be like a total nerve wrack, like oh my god, this is never gonna work, and the next minute you're gonna get like super like 20 orders or something. Oh, like not 20 maybe, but but like oh I wish. But like yeah, it's not a steady thing. And
Yeah.
you kind of just have to, I don't know, suck it up
Yeah.
for some time until you get like, I don't know, get some experience out of it. And then it might get easier.
Yeah, I think like coping with it gets easier, but yeah, the uncertainty is always there.
Yeah,
so
I
that's
think
just
so.
something.
Yeah. And also, like, for me, still, it's like a roller coaster. Like, some days I'm like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? Should I just quit? Like, why did I even start this? And then the next day I can be super inspired and like, this job is the best job in the world. My customers are amazing. My colleagues are amazing. I'm so happy I get to do this. I can do this. I'm gonna get so much better after I've like done this project. And then like, and everything in between also. Like, most of the time it's actually somewhere in between. But then there's always like, I regret it often, but also I'm really happy about it often. Like, so it's like, yeah, I think you can't really like know 100% for sure what is like the right decision and stuff. Everything is so much more complicated and like messy and stuff. And yeah. So I think, but also I think like a lot of things also are kind of gradual. Like, you don't have to, for example, just like quit your job, quit everything and start all over and just like start your business and stuff. You can always like do small things first. You can try to sell things to your friends, like depending on what you do, of course, or just like, or like start sharing things. And then, I mean, I don't know, I guess it depends on like what kind of thing you're doing.
Yeah.
But like also you don't always have to go all in.
Jump like head first.
So
I
I don't know, like the person who asked this question, I don't know like which stage you are at. Maybe you already like are selling some things and you just wonder if you should like register a business, or maybe you are not even selling anything, you just kind of want to try. So depending on where you are, you can just kind of nudge little steps, and then maybe it's also easier to like overcome fears when you just gradually get closer to
things
wherever
get
you're
familiar little by little.
But I think my advice would be just to start somewhere and like see how gutsy you are and like go with your feeling as well. But not with the scary feeling. Go like go with the courage. Yeah.
I love that too.
Okay. But we're getting close to the end, so should we look at what we've what we have on our...
I think you can see it best from this camera, so maybe I can hold it kind of here. I didn't quite finish, but I got most of my colors in here. She doesn't have a face, but other than that, I'm happy.
I didn't really finish at all anything yet. I got some base colors in there, but
I love the
so
bold
much
colors.
work.
I love them.
I love the colors. They became kind of this non-binary thing. So yes, okay.
Cute, sneaky representation.
Let's see. Was making everywhere.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I also just have the base colors, and now I started...
Can you show it
yes.
to the camera?
And now I started lining like the socks. So I'm gonna continue, but yeah, I did this very minimalist color thing, and also because I did this rug, like, or was it like a mat, I did that twice because I wanted it to be this solid color, so that took me a while. So yeah, I'm still gonna line it, and I want her to have tattoos, so I'm gonna do that off camera, and we're gonna post the pictures in the end of this episode. As always.
So stay tuned.
Yes,
Stay tuned for more.
Yes.
Thank you so much for watching this week's or listening to this week's episode of the Drawing Club Podcast.
Yeah. And please send us more questions that we can answer in our question of the week segment.
And thank you so much, Ahma, for joining us. This was so much fun.
It was so fun.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Thanks for coming. I hope your friends enjoyed the episode too.
Yes. And see you in the next one.
See you.
Yeah. I won't see you.
But
I'm just gonna poof. Can we edit a poof
every time?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Where can they find you?
Yes. Oh, they can find me. I'm on Instagram at Ahma Tattoo, and also at Hexwheeler. I have a website, ahmatattoo.com. Yes. Also hexwheeler.wordpress.com. I think the links are on Instagram as well. Yeah,
and we're gonna include them like in the YouTube in the down below, you know.
Yes, or in show notes on other apps.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, well, anyway, from there.
Yes.
So
please go follow
Golo me.
Golo Ahma, and you will see what they make.
Yes.
It's really pretty.
It is so cute. Thank you. Okay. See you next time.
See you.
Bye.
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 Thank you for listening to the Drawing Club Podcast.
You can follow us on Instagram at Drawing Club Podcast or email us at drawingclubpodcast@gmail.com.
You can also find me, Mia, on Instagram at mia.minerva and on YouTube as Mia Minerva. Sasha, where can we find you?
I'm on Instagram at Sasha_Kretova.
This podcast was created by us, Mia Minerva and Sasha Kretova.
Olli Aarni created the theme song and assisted with the recording, and Dmitry Zherbin took care of audio mastering.
Welcome to the club, friends.